Hello everybody, this is Handy863 here bringing you another video today, and we are back here on Mario Kart Wii for something that I don't usually do, and that is a Mario Kart Wii custom track texture showcase. Now this texture is actually quite particular, as in I've actually requested to be made. And it started off as a little joke that me and the world record holder of DS Peach Gardens, Brett, came up with during one of my streams. Where Brett came to a stream that I was doing with my sister where we were cooking in the kitchen. And we came up with this idea for this texture after I had shown the camera outside of the window into my garden. So behold, what I have to show to you here is a texture in which the custom track and texture creator Joris has kindly created for me. It is DS Peach Gardens retextured with textures from my garden. How about that? Honestly, I didn't think that this would be taken quite seriously, but after I presented the idea of this to Joris, he found it so funny that he actually spent quite a bit of time on it to complete this properly, and I believe he actually will be publishing it because he likes how it turned out so much, and so yeah, he'll be publishing it not too long after this, but currently it's only just a texture that me, him and Brett have currently. But either way, I honestly think it's turned out quite nicely too. It is a little bright on my TV, but I honestly think that it's these settings that I use. So, without further ado, I will actually just go about the track itself to kind of show off all the textures and all these things that I kind of find interesting here. So, to start off with, I think the biggest and most noticeable change is the castle itself. So if we go a little bit further up this way, just to the point where we can see it when we look back. Yeah, there we go. So the whole thing has been retextured with that red brick texture, and that is bricks on the outside of my house. And you also got a roofing texture there, which is actually the roof of my garage. So all of this is actually parts of my house. We go up back this way. This is the door, one of the doors, and you have these windows as well, which are both doors and windows of my house, funnily enough. It's kind of interesting actually, so you can look around here at this bottom part, where you can actually see how the brick texture is stretched over the top of this part of the track. I'm not sure whether Joris actually made it like that intentionally, or if that's how the track has been made to manipulate this texture specifically. But I thought it was kind of interesting how it's sort of redone the sizes in areas. Not too much of a problem at all, I just think it's interesting. The next bit of this area specifically here is as you're driving down this stone pathway here, this is actually the concrete pathway outside the front of my house. And Joris has actually made it fit to the width of the track here, which is quite nice. You can see this is the edges of it here, and then you've got those edges again. And he's actually faded it into the sides of the brick as well, just to make it so that it properly transitions between two things. We've got this fence here, which is the fence that outlines my garden. I think it's probably one of the most noticeable things if you actually see a recording that I've taken in my garden in real life, because it's quite bright, and yeah, it's only just like one section of a panel, and it sticks out a lot more than the original fence on this garden, because I think the original fence was like a low down sort of loopy thing, in which is being completely changed here. So yeah, so I'll continue sort of backtracking down the track and trying to point out things that I have noticed. So the trees The trees have been redone to the trees that align my garden. Again, people might have seen that in the recording that I've done, and I thought this worked out quite nicely because I didn't even consider the trees as part of it when I took the pictures for these textures, so I didn't remember that these were here. So Joris actually kind of recycled the hedge textures that I took and recolored them slightly to suit the trees, and that's quite nice. The dirt that you can drive down here is just a picture of the dirt that you have in my flower beds, just sort of repeated, and it's the same with the grass. This ramp is sort of a mixture, I think, between the dirt and the fence texture. I believe Joris also altered that slightly to fit this, so it's slightly darker and it's just been changed ever so slightly to fit in with that. Looks very nice overall though, and again that's another thing I didn't compensate for because I don't actually have anything like a bridge or anything near my house, which I could have taken a picture of. Then we go into probably, I guess, the main area of textures for the garden in general, which is the hedges. And for those who probably notice, you can see it quite well just here. This is just from the trees that outline my garden. So these are the ones that are usually found on the side, and these ones are for the main hedges within the garden itself. These are actually hedges that are at the back of our garden, so they're slightly smaller and they have a slightly different colouring and leaf style to ours. Joris has edited them to, I guess, make them a little nicer in colour, and I guess also to just suit the original colouring of the track in a way. So again, this is the same as in the middle there, but as you can see it's of a slightly lighter shade. So yeah, and then I think the dirt that I'm actually driving on now is, I can't actually tell if he used the texture that I used or if he just edited something, but I actually took a picture of some yellowy coloured concrete to use as the dirt here, because again I didn't actually have anything that was actual dirt that's the similar colour to how it is on DS Peach Gardens normally, so I just took a picture of that and he recolored it. You have the flower patches here, which are no longer flower patches, they are just a patch of leaves, and this is a leaf texture that from a flower bed right at the back of my garden. In the summertime there are usually flowers on it, but as I took these pictures closer to winter, then you know, it's kind of a bit greener, which I actually like this texture a little bit more than the original. I actually kind of prefer this as well. What I specifically like about it is how he's sort of cut it so that it fits around the edge as well. Like, that was a nice touch, and I think he did a very good job with that. I personally can't tell if the arrow has been retextured or not. It looks like it's got a bit of the brick texture going on the sides here, but either if it has or not, I can't tell. It just looks the same to me. I would have to look back and in proper detail to see how it is being done on the original. And then again, of course, over here the main hedge maze is similar to the smaller one that I passed through. And you can actually from here see the final change that was made, and that is of the sky and the background. And for that I actually walked up a hill that is quite close to my house and just took a bunch of pictures up from there. So I took some of the sky and I took some of the hills from the hill looking down towards the tree line and so on and so forth, and Joris has cut and layered them in the background, so it looks like this is actually in an area similar to where my house is, as you can see, which is quite nice. I actually, again, I didn't think that would be something that was even possible, but he's proved me wrong. So this is a very nice texture. in that regard, because it's quite unique, because I've never actually seen anybody do this style of texturing before, where they use real life images and just implement them into a Mario Kart track. And honestly, I like it. I like it a lot. I think Joris likes it too, and I think Brett's gonna like it as well. And yeah, so you can see the Mario statue in the middle is also made of the tree texture. And one final thing that I wanted to show off here is the sign, I believe Joris actually made. There you go. It says Handy's Garden on the top of the sign there. He actually made that for me. I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah, let me just sit in front of it if I can. There we go. Handy's Garden. Very nice. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to try and drive this track properly. And I will add CPUs, because I haven't actually had a CPU race on this track yet. Get to see some nice camera panning right at the beginning there. Ooh, very fancy. Don't think I've actually seen this yet. Awesome. I'm a fan of that. Right. Even though it's exactly the same camera work as it is on the original track, so it hasn't really changed from that. Right. Let's see how well I can do. My driving's a little scruffy on here. If you want to see how to properly drive this track, even the texture, go and see Brett's upload. Because he said he would drive a time here when he's able to get it. Oh, I really locked. Okay. I don't know if I'm doing that correctly. I don't know. My driving here is probably very scruffy. Okay, the shock's coming in. That's fine. Oh, okay. You know what? It's not a time trial, so therefore it's fine. And I cannot do slips for that. I don't even think that's actually faster with the mop bike. I think it's faster just to pull one and wheelie. But I can't remember with this track. I know I did take a look at the mop bike BKT. Oh. Okay, I guess we're going this direction now. I think something like that's quicker with mop bike. I'm not too sure. There we go. Just a typical race here. So yeah, that is DS Handy's Garden. Again, I will leave some useful links and things in the description. Joris is going to probably publish this track publicly once I'm ready for him to do so. So do go and check that out. Big thanks to him for actually spending the time and altering the pictures that I sent him and putting them on as a texture to this track. It turned out so much better than I was expecting. Like, it honestly works a lot. Just a lot more than I was thinking it would. But yeah, otherwise that is all I really have to show. So I thank everyone for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this. And I shall see you again later. Goodbye.